You are now tuned in to the Phil W. Jones Show. And today I got my special guest, the big time award winning Valdez McDaniels, also known as VJ, big entrepreneur around the Kansas area. Been doing big things for a long time, especially when it comes to hair and all the other things about teaching people how to cut hair and how to just, bring that presence when you are in that business of beauticians and hairdressers and barbers and all, etc., etc. And not only does he just do hair, but the man is truly an entrepreneur. How you doing today, VJ?
Man, I'm doing good. And thank you for that big announcement right there. I really appreciate
Hey, no
that,
doubt,
right?
man. We go back for quite some time,
Yes, we
man.
do.
And I'm telling you, man, I've been watching you, man, for a long time, and I've been inspired. I think sometimes we will bounce off each other with
Yes.
ideas, but
Mhm.
there's one thing to actually say that you're gonna do it, but it's a whole nother thing when you actually do it. And man, you doing it out here, man.
I
I'm watching,
appreciate
I'm
it.
looking around the shop, man, and I mean, this is your shop now. You're not under anybody. You are your own boss now, and that's big, especially in this time.
This is true.
So, man, why don't you just tell the viewers out here exactly what it is that you do and what is AHR? Definitely
Okay.
let them know what that is.
All right. Well,
What's the brand?
the brand is AHR is absolute hair replacement, and where that derived from was I was looking for another outlet outside of barbering to separate myself from just being, the barber behind the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across an opportunity to be certified in this industry and got certified out of town. Actually, I'm double certified, which is rare, to do hair replacement. This is non-surgical hair replacement, that is.
Right.
So I came and got my own location for non-surgical hair replacement and barbering at the same time. But right now I'm doing a lot of the barbering. I'm taking things to the next level. Obviously sitting here with you is a next level move.
Hey, man.
I appreciate you having me on camera and having this
Yes,
interview
sir.
right now. But just like you, I just want to put one foot in front of the other and keep on going and keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this opportunity from the beginning of the time in the barbering field.
Mm-hmm.
I was a businessman before I was a barber.
Mm-hmm.
And I think business merging with barber is something that's imperative right now. And that's what I've done. I pretty much have said, hey, I'm going to get into the industry and try to turn it on its head.
Right.
And that's what this process is right now.
So let me ask you, when you first started out, did you see this vision, or did you just think, hey, I'm going to be a barber, make me some quick money day to day, or was it something that you just you already had this vision, or was it something that just came with time?
That's a very good question. No, what it came down to was, can I make a difference in the industry? What I saw out there as far as barbers, barbershops in the industry, what I could do to change it, and I saw some weaknesses out there, some fallacies in, the regular barbershop and the way they're ran, and I wanted to make that change, and I think I'm making those changes and leading by example. You don't see it; everybody can't see what you do, but like you said, you can on the outside looking in. You've heard me say I'm going to do some things, and I've done them. Well, this industry still needs to change. It's ever evolving. The media concept is huge. That's something that I am working on as we speak. But the industry needs it needs some fresh air, and that's what I'm looking to give it. I think a lot of the barbers out here right now that are cutting hair, I think they're stuck in the mode of just cutting hair, and that's not what we are anymore. I mean, this industry is really changing, evolving really fast. I mean, you have to have additional services, a list of additional services, because people want more. People deserve more, and this is the image business.
Right. Yeah, because, people, they need your services, man, probably more than anybody else. More than a doctor. I mean, you literally are the hair doctor, and I think that's big. People, when you getting ready for interviews, when you are going to churches, weddings, etc., man, you gotta have your appearance right, and that's where you come in your field, man. So
Totally,
you have to have a barber by your side, man.
You do more than anything. What you're saying, and those are locations that we're arriving, and we want to look good, but it's so many cameras.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are or what you're doing, You have to be prepared for a photo, and that's an image.
Right.
And if you're trying to hold a certain image, you need to look good.
Right.
That's where we come in.
Right. So speak more about the the whole hair replacement, man. That's big, man. Like,
well, hair replacement comes into play. Times have changed. Like I said, hair replacement, and people are losing hair at an earlier rate now.
Yeah.
You have some early teenagers that are having male pattern baldness and things like that, and that's tough for an individual at an early age. They're wearing hats, really don't want to go to any formal events, and there is an option of surgical. Surgical doesn't give you any guarantee. You go through a whole process, and it's long and drawn out. Well, this is non-surgical, so it's topical. It's non-detective. I don't want to use the word toupee for those older people out there.
Right.
But you're standing next to people daily that have these pieces, what we call them cranial prostheses. These are designed for that individual, put together hair by hair, follicle by follicle, and it changes people's lives.
Right.
More than that, you have also the women's side of it, where it's a lot of medications out there that women take, and most of the side effects from these medications are hair loss. The thyroid comes into place as being overworked, and they're thinning. They want to look good. A lot of them do the braiding and then the weaving, and they put the weave in there and add more weight to their hair, and it tends to fall out. They lose their edges and things like that.
Right.
Woman's confidence is in how she looks, so hair replacement is very good for that right there. But I was fortunate enough to get with Tony Love. Thank you, Tony. In case you're watching, did a course with her, and won another course with Onright in Florida, which is the leaders of the industry. So I was able to get double certified to do that right there. But that aspect of it, people are starting to be more aware of it. I'm starting to see it out there on the media sites, different versions and different ways that people are accommodating to get these pieces. But it's a major certificate, and the ability to be able to do that can help you grow your business as a barber. Because
big.
One thing that people used to say back in the day, man, if you could just put hair on, well, be careful what you ask for. Because I can take the hair off and I can put the hair on.
Right. Speaking of, with women and everything, didn't you do something with cancer patients? Or
I did.
You was making them basically feel good about themselves.
I did. I am a facilitator for the American Breast Cancer Society.
That's
and
awesome.
What that is I go out to hospitals that, it's a lot of hospitals in Kansas. But I go out to, the facility, and they have 6 to maybe 10, 12 women there that are going through different stages of cancer. And I go out, and I'm considered the eyebrow specialist at this stage. I also have a counterpart, Kamish Andrews. She does the makeup. But the best part about this is these women get to come in there. They can tell their story. It's pretty emotional. It's serious. All of them are going through different stages, some worse than others. A lot of times it brings tears.
Absolutely.
But the beautiful part is to be able to give back to these women. They really appreciate what we do. I do that for free. We also give them wigs, but the makeup that they get to put on is also donated from several different companies out there. Kamish does the makeup, does a heck of a job on the makeup. I do the eyebrows. I have pride in doing the eyebrows. That's something I enjoy. The women really appreciate it. I feel like they are thankful because they say that's their sense of expression. And if they lose their eyebrows or losing their hair, it's a sensitive situation. But I ended up getting involved in the American Breast Cancer Society by way of starting to do the non-surgical hair replacement. I thought they went hand in hand. I've lost some people to cancer as well, so just the ability to give back in that area. A lot of times, we don't have the ability financially to stick our necks out there like some of the big time people, but to me, time is more important than anything. You can't get that back. So if I'm able to donate my time to those women and I can make their day for an hour and a half, that's priceless to me. So I'll continue to do that with the American Breast Cancer.
And that's what it's all about, man. I mean, when you do something like that, that's probably the best joy you can get from your job.
It's true. It's I look forward to it. The feeling that I have every time I leave that place is it's off the chart. I mean, I feel like I gave a lot. These women make me feel that way. I mean, they walk in, they tell their story, they're crying. They walk out, they're ready to go show themselves to their spouses or get out and about, and they're full of things. So
Right. See, that's kind of like just like a an athlete. You play your sports, but they don't know about the all the behind the scenes work that you got to do and charity that you do. That's big, man.
More than anything, these guys, and I look at the athletes, they do a lot, but you got to also think about what they would like to do.
Right.
They're not able to do. Because I truly like to do more, but because of my profession and time, all of us have 24 hours in a day, and we may want to give it in different ways, but our schedule doesn't allow us to.
So, VJ, I bet you made a lot of a lot of characters in this profession, man.
Yeah.
Me myself being one, man. I know I'll give you. I mean, go ahead, man. Go ahead and tell the world. I know I don't mind, man.
For the barbers out there, Phil is a prime example. This is what you should tell people like Phil. Throw the clippers away. He has events, and sometimes I'm too busy to get him right then and there, and Phil decides that he wants to be the barber. And he's aggressive. See, this is our fault as barbers out there. Anything he's come in with, no matter what he's done, and he's done some things I can't believe knowing that I cut hair, I've been able to repair. Every single time you repair somebody's hair that messes it up like that, you just give them more ammunition to do it.
So you're the hair doctor, man.
He calls me the hair doctor, but he goes and messes it up, and I fix it every time. So I'm trying to get him to throw his clippers away.
I mean, it comes from, man, that's another thing, man. You get online, you watch these YouTube videos, man, and you start feeling like a pro yourself. Man, you be like, man, I'm not gonna pay B. I mean, I'm just keep it real. You got that extra $30 in your pocket. You like, I'm gonna keep that for the week. Let me just throw myself a quick lineup, man. You watch the videos.
Get excited.
You get some clippers, man. The clipper, you don't think about the rust on the clippers, the oil you need to, what I mean? So before you know it, man, you thinking you fixing yourself up, and then you look in the mirror and your line is all the way back to your earlobe, man.
This is true.
And that's when you be like, man, I gotta call V. I gotta call the hair doctor.
But
man.
You hit on some key points in what you just said right there. For those that are out there, looking at YouTube and getting excited, when you just said you don't worry about the oil, you don't worry about and it's disinfectant. For those guys that are out there that want to touch yourself up, do some clipper maintenance. Seriously, clean them up and oil them up. I use mine every day, and I clean them and oil them every single day, multiple times a day. But when you don't do it all the time, you have bacteria and things like that grow, which, I know how to take care of that too. Once you get to that point, that's another added service that I'm able to provide.
Bumps in the neck and all that.
Yeah, so with what's called pseudofolliculitis, you don't want to cut yourself so bad that you infect yourself and have the hair bumps growing. Right. But piece of advice, if you're going to pick up the trimmers, the liners to clean yourself up, make sure you disinfect them and oil them.
That goes into the other thing. Speaking of oil, man, you got the beard oil, all the smell good, man. A lot of women, if you're gonna have a beard, which women love it, but they want that beard to be nice, man. They want it to smell good,
yes, indeed.
To be the crispy, clean, well kept. A lot of these cats just got these beards that's just dirty. But now the trends, everybody want a clean beard now.
Yeah.
So, man, how do you do with trends and different styles and all that?
I think I think you said it right. It's a trend. I think this is a trend that's going to be around for a while.
Right.
It's on professional wearing them. You got people on the news and the public eye wearing beards, but the key is keeping them groomed. And there's some beard maintenance out there. Like you brought up the oil. I came up with my own blend of oil, and it was based off of women complaining. I had a few women ask if I had oil that smelled good, or if I knew where they could get oil that smelled good. And to be honest, my answer was no, and I don't like telling people no. So I looked for the oil, and the number one seller was tea tree. Tea tree is a great product. It's got some great benefits to it, but it does smell kind of like Lysol. So I did the research and found out how oil is made. I made my own. So I put some key ingredients in there.
Okay.
Due to the knowledge that I have from hair replacement and how hair is grown and things like that, I put vitamin E in there. I got what else do I have in those things? I got natural oil fragrances. They're 100%. You can grab a couple of those
Yeah,
bottles
yeah.
right there. So they all smell good. Biotin's in there to
Yeah.
promote the hair growth.
So what you guys better get on this, man. This
This is where it's at. Felon, it's got more of a cinnamon background taste, flavor to it that you can smell. The one that you have there is male. It has more of a pine scent to it.
Mm-hmm.
I have the number one seller cigar. It has more of a tobacco vanilla scent to it.
Mm-hmm.
The women love it, guys. You got to pick up some of that right there.
Yeah.
Um,
How much are these little bottles going?
This is a 1 ounce bottle for $19.99.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your beer, you use a couple of drops in the morning, put it in there. I also have one specifically made for night. It's called REM, short for rapid eye movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the lavender, all the agents that help you rest at nighttime and will help her get closer to you.
Right.
I mean, you don't want your beer to smell like everything you ate that day.
Right.
So that is important, beard maintenance and things like that. But
How often would you say to get your beard shaped up, and for those trying to grow?
guys that grow facial hair, you should be in the shop at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because that you're going to have a defined, clean line when you get your hair cut, and it starts growing from the minute you get out of the chair.
Right.
So every week you should be getting maintained there. Worst case scenario, every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see the difference between your beard in 3 days. That's why they used to say the 5 o'clock shadow.
Right.
5 o'clock was 5 hours, 7 hours from when you shaved it. So you know that your hair grows on your face constantly. So take care of those beards, fellas.
Yeah, see, that's why I was cutting my own hair, man. My shadow would come back too quick, man. I was like, man, this is another $20, man.
But it's worth every bit of it because you
Right.
want to look
You
good
do.
at all
You do.
times. You know,
You
want to
do.
look sharp at all times.
You do. You know, no matter how much I do to it, I can't never get it. That barber touch on it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
There's
It's
tricks
that finish.
to it,
We
man.
get the angle.
Right.
We get the angle and the light and the proper tools.
Mm-hmm.
You get different angles and you block your angles from different sides. So you just gotta, like any barber out there say, stay high,
Yeah.
stay high, stay away from the area that I need to work on.
Right, right. So yeah, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. You got your own oil, man. That's big, man. That's that entrepreneur in you that I'm talking about, man.
I appreciate that.
Last year, man. No, 3 years ago, man. You wasn't talking about no dang oil, man.
No, I
you was just
wasn't.
cutting hair, man.
That's
but
true.
you always had that. You had that go-getter in you, man. I always knew you was, because I come in shop and be like, what you up to today?
Right.
What you up to now,
Right.
B? You know,
Right.
you're like,
I still
I'm
hear
working
that.
on something.
Yeah.
I'm working on something. And sure enough, couple of months later, you was out the shop. So, discussing that, how was it transitioning to working under somebody else to being your own boss now, running your own shop?
Transition was fairly easy to me. You know, in our industry, you do have the shop owner. You can consider him the boss or whatnot, but you have your area, and I was a booth renter. So you kind of ran your area, but there are some limitations to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't really brand yourself. You can't separate yourself. You try to do more services. Other people want to do that. The benefit of having your own location is you call the shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to make a beard oil and sell it in your shop, you can do that. Now, in another shop, somebody may not want you to do that, or they may want a percentage or something like that
Right,
off
right.
of that right there, which will stymie you from going ahead and moving forward with, your ideas. Being able to think, react, and make things happen, that's the position that I'm in.
Right.
So since I'm in that position, I want to take full advantage of that right there.
Right.
So
right.
I have the ability to read, research like we talking about YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
oils. I understood it. I took the time to make it, and I want to give a shout out to my daughter. This is her writing on here.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
The formulation was made by her and her mother and me.
Keeping it in the family.
The family
Yeah.
deal. So I think that these are imperative for people that are out there that are tired of the same fragrances. But back on the separation between the booth renter and owning your own place, the sky's the limit. You know,
Right.
when you work for someone and say they have the hours of 9 to 5, well, those hours that you're going to work. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you may want to work longer than that. Now, how do you do that? So
Yeah.
you're able to bend those things. You're able to move and adjust for you, and I think that's the journey of any barber. I don't think anybody comes in the industry or goes to school, gets certified, gets your license, and says, you know what, I want to go work for this person in this barbershop forever.
Right. Right.
At some point, if you're not growing, you're going backwards, in my opinion. I
Right.
mean, if you're not going forward, you're going backwards.
Right.
And with the internet and the multimedia tools,
Mm-hmm.
it's fast forward now.
Right.
So if you're not on that track, you going backwards really fast.
Right.
And that is an area that I'm working on.
Right.
And, and I'm glad to know you, because this is an area that you are submerging yourself in, and it's going to make a difference, period, down the line for everybody.
Right. Now I see you got your own employees now. Shout out AJ.
Yeah.
See, you kind of helping him grow his business.
Yes,
now.
indeed. And see, that's the best part about being in this shop with me. I want him to grow. I want him to outgrow me. So business-wise, I saw that as a fallacy with barbershops. I noticed that there was one or two barbers in every shop, and they were making the money, and then a couple of empty chairs, or one dude sitting down there in a chair and looking at his email and not really making any money.
Right.
And you see it all through the industry. People move from shop to shop because they're not making money.
Those the barbers that just be sitting in a chair like we sitting now, just
Correct.
waiting around.
Call that hoping instead of putting one foot in front of the other and going and getting a client and getting your skills together. But with AJ, what I really want to do is grow him.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like I want to grow him faster than he's ready to grow, and you can't do that either.
Right.
But I'm glad to have him on board. I guess in the future he'll be on set and be able to.
Most definitely, I'm gonna get you. Get you, AJ. You next, man.
And he'll be able to say a few words. But yeah, when you're in this position, you can bring on people, help change their life, and that's really what I do. I want to do it in a major way, because I know that he's been in a couple of situations and they didn't work out for him. So that's the last thing I want to happen here.
All right, V. Speaking of the business side, this is what people need. I'm getting ready to ask you that question. That content you can give a couple of these young entrepreneurs and up and coming barbers. What is it that they need to know as far as maybe investing in themselves and equipment? I mean, what is it that, even as far as saving money? I mean, it's one thing to cut hair, make money every day, but what do you do? I mean, where do you go with trying to be an entrepreneur and up and coming?
Very good question. Crucial information about to be told right here.
You young bucks, listen up. This is that knowledge right here.
This is when you want to grab the pen and paper and not try to listen and remember it.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little snippet of information, and you're going to have to get more and more. We'll get into more detail as these video series continue. For the brand new barber, I think it's very important for you to invest in self, which is very difficult because you feel like at that point in time you don't really have the funds that you need to have. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of ways that you can develop the funds and not feel it. Whatever you do, you want to market yourself, get out, get people in the chair. The way you make money is a person to be in the chair. But the way you save money and not feel it is a little bit at a time. As a man said, you can eat a whale, and the only way you can eat a whale is one bite at a time. So, what I would give you advice to tell you to do as a beginning barber, every time you come into the shop and you cut your first client, put that money in an envelope. Hold that money aside. If you can't keep cash, put it in the bank. Put it in a shoebox. Put it away. Your first client is your investment client. No matter what their name is, what their gender is, what color they are, that should be your first thing. First thing you do when you cut. I'm talking about the whole thing, not a part of it, the whole thing. Continue to do that and set yourself a time. Hey, I'm going to do that for a month, and then I'm going to take that money and I'm going to go buy these new clippers. Okay? Some things that you can do that don't cost you any money. We were talking about YouTube. There is some people out there that know what they're doing, that are giving up free information. Take the time to, at night or in the morning, give yourself an hour of education. You're talking free education from people that have got years in the industry.
Right.
Take full advantage of that right there. I'm going to give you this is a crucial one. This here, listen up real good. For those of you that find yourself in a situation and you don't have the best of credit, you got your pen? I'm going to need you to write this down. Every last one of you that are paying booth rent can gain credit by paying booth rent. So what my advice for you to do is you go to your local bank that will allow you to have a secure credit card. This is a credit card that's going to report to all the credit agencies. Okay? But you're going to go ahead and put the money before the rent. So when your rent is due, you swipe the credit card to the owner of the shop. Throughout that 30-day period, that card is going to report to the credit bureau. So you're gaining credit. Then you just take your actual cash and pay the credit card. I've known people that have never missed a week of booth rent for 15, 20, 25 years. And always have paid cash. Never gained anything from those years of credit lines that they could have had. That's crucial.
Right.
That's information. That's it for now. Thank Phil for asking that question, because any other times
That
people
free
would pay for
content.
that information.
Right. You said something, cutting, learning how to do different races and all that.
Mm-hmm.
How important is, because I come in here, man, you're not just cutting African Americans, you're cutting Indians, Caucasians.
Oh,
I done seen you cut everybody's hair, man. How hard was that to learn how to cut people's hair that was different than yours?
To me, it wasn't very difficult. To me, the motivating factor to be able to do that is you don't want to turn customers away. Mm-hmm. You want to master, I guess you can say, the masses.
Mm-hmm.
Master the masses. That's hot. Okay. What I mean by that is, if I'm out marketing myself, I don't want to walk by 15 people to get to one person. Mm-hmm. If I want to bring any and everybody into the chair, and the way you get proficient with anything is practice. Mm-hmm. And when you're cutting hair and you're in the industry, it's not the nationality of the individual that determines what type of hair they have. It is, in a category for me, it's curly or straight.
Right.
Can you cut straight hair? How can you cut with shears? Mm-hmm. How proficient are you with shear over comb, clipper over comb? Your techniques. Again, that goes back to, if you're not picking up the shears, you're letting a lot of clients go by.
Right.
If you are concentrated on only kids, and that may be your demographic, but by all means, you're still leaving out a large amount of demographics as well.
Right.
So I want to be able to cut anybody that comes in the chair, and obviously I know how to cut synthetic hair as well.
Right.
But that was my motivating factor, to be able to cut straight, long hair. I don't want to cut every single person, mm-hmm. but when it comes to the masses, I don't want to turn them away because I don't have the ability to offer my services to them.
Right. That's awesome, man. Well, hey, man, before we get out of here, man, just kind of tell the world, man, what is it that inspires you and motivates you to get up every morning and hustle and grind and do what you have to do?
Well, I think one of the motivating factors is success kind of breeds success. I have a level of expectation for myself, and I keep pushing that further and further out. So I'm chasing that right there. Plus, I like to make a difference in people's life. This is a small portion. I get about 30 minutes of an individual's time to try to put a spin on their life. They may be going through some hard times. I like to celebrate the good times.
Absolutely.
I like to be able to be a part of whatever phase of life that they're in. So it's more than barbering. It's more than a haircut when you come in, and I want to be able to offer that due to my knowledge and my worldly experiences. It's kind of like what Forrest Gump said. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
So when a client comes in, they may be happy getting ready to get married. Mm-hmm. The same client comes in 2 years from now, because you still have a relationship, then he's on his knees getting ready to have a divorce. You got to be ready for that. And that doesn't have anything to do with a haircut.
That's crazy.
But I think that's some of the things that motivate me. More than anything, the freedom to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it wakes me up every morning. I'm grateful to be able to be in a position to create that for myself and my family. I think that's about it. That wraps it up. I get excited about work. I get excited about new things. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yes,
hopefully you guys will see more of this right here.
Definitely, man.
Phil Capture's got me on camera.
Hey, you know I had to do it, man. Hey, well, man, I appreciate you for coming through, man.
Always.
Well, I'm coming through, but I appreciate you for being on my show, man. Not to mention you my first guest, man. So that means that a brother love you, man.
That's it.
Keep it going, man, though. I'm proud of you, everything that you're doing and accomplishing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the shop. I love the element. Love the plants. I love the oils, man. Just feels like home.
Man,
it's
that's
comfortable
good.
And you feel safe. Your surroundings is cool. You know what I mean? Keep it going, man. You done built something We build something great.
I appreciate it, man. I think you're gonna help me get there.
No doubt. Well, there y'all have it. Phil W. Jones, VJ, Valdez McDaniels, and we out.